How's it going, guys? Welcome to this week's episode of Let's Talk. Today I've decided I'm going to try out my first ever game review, and that game is going to be Outlast 2. If any of you have been keeping up with my channel, then you'll know that I've just finished playing through this game, so I thought I'd give my overall thoughts and feelings about it. And for the record, I'm going to try not to step into any spoiler territory here for anyone who hasn't played the game but just want a general review. So let's get started. So the main story of the game is as follows. You and your wife, who apparently you've never fornicated with in a while. I didn't know why this was important either until near the end of the game, just for the record. But you and your wife are on a helicopter where they're investigating the murder of a woman. I believe this is for an online news channel they do. This all seems to go rather south all of a sudden as the helicopter's engine decides to fail and everything goes black. You then wake up in this school setting where you follow a man walking away from you, and then some blood happens and it all goes black again basically. You then wake up outside again in the wreckage of the helicopter that's just crashed, and from there the game truly starts. Your main mission? Find your wife. You come across some rather questionable people, I would say. One being a crazy Christian cult called Testament of the New Ezekiel, in which the leader, who is called Sullivan Noth, this big old fat dude with some really bad hair, believes that God is talking to him and wants him to stop the Antichrist being born by systematically killing all the children. So yeah. This game is pretty dark in case you hadn't realised that yet. There are two other groups of people you come across. One is called the Schooled. Now these guys are actually like a splinter faction of the crazy baby killers, but they're kept separate and isolated as they're infected with syphilis and gonorrhea and all those nasty things. They don't realise this though and believe that their illness is a sickness of the soul, so they're kind of kept separate, but they're annoying nonetheless. The final group that you come across are called the Heretics. These people are led by a man called Val. Yes, he is a man. I thought he was a woman, same as many other people before me who have played this game also thought he was a woman. But if you do pick up all of the little pieces of paper lying on the ground, which I did not, too many pieces of paper, then one of them states that he is in fact a he. The Heretics are a complete polarization of the Testament and their views, as they believe the Antichrist should be born. Why? I don't know. But basically, throughout this game you have to deal with all three of these groups of people in all their weird and very creepy ways until you find your wife, as she seems to get kidnapped by both rivaling factions one after the other. So the gameplay of this is nothing I've really gotten into before, I will admit. I've never really played horror games, so this was new territory for me. It is a first person view and you cannot fight at all against anything. You have a camera if that helps, so you know you can record stuff, which is super helpful. I understand it's a horror game, so I get why the developers make it like this. It can just be slightly frustrating at times, I found, but I'll talk about that more later. So you can jump, you can run, you can hide and record stuff. Anyone you come across is not your friend. Except maybe this guy, he's kind of your friend. My biggest issue was it wasn't always clear on where you could go. I found myself getting lost quite a bit when in the middle of chase scenes, which made things really frustrating. But once again, we'll come back to that bit later. Other than that, there isn't much else to the gameplay, just a lot of hiding and recording. I will admit the developers got this down to a T. When the music played, it played the right style of music in accordance with what was happening. Same for when they didn't play the music at all. They made you feel what your character would have been feeling. At times, I was unbelievably filled with tension that something could just pop out at me at any moment. and other times I really felt the impending doom of certain chase scenes. When they decided not to play music at all, it worked. It made things feel eerie and unsettling. So yeah, thumbs up to the music, or lack thereof at times in this game. The graphics were good. Not spectacular, not bad, but good. Most of the time everything was dark, so it was tough to tell if things looked great or not. And when it was dark, you were looking through your camera on night vision mode, so everything all looked very similar. I feel things looked how they should. The characters and the settings look creepy and frightening. The fire effect looks decent, and the lighting effects from torches and stuff also worked well. But I feel I couldn't see well enough to be able to make the judgment on the world in a graphics kind of view. But they were good. I would say a 7 or 8 out of 10, probably. The main thing I disliked about this game was getting lost. And it only ever happened during chase scenes, I found. Now, it probably was me being a bit of an idiot and just missing things, but it bothered me a lot. There was a couple of points in the game back to back where I got lost so much in moments of being chased that the horror aspect of the game just fizzled out. Like completely. I was no longer scared of what was around me, I was just angry. At that point in the game I nearly gave up. After a couple of weeks of cooling and chilling out, I decided to keep going, and overall I was glad that I did. Now, I don't expect anything like a neon arrow flashing in the dark to show me where to go, don't get me wrong, but just a tiny bit more direction would have been helpful. Like, instead of a courtyard filled with closed doors so that you have to try every single one of them until one opens, just leave one of them open to give you a hint when you're being chased by a mob. And just remember, you can't fight back against this mob. This would have really helped things out a lot. Not being able to fight back was also a bit of a pain. I know it was supposed to make you feel scared and helpless, but come on. If it's just one other person who is trying to kill you, especially if they're like crawling across the ground, curb stomp them. I know it's pretty dark, but just do it. You learn very on that everyone in this game wants to kill you, so beat them to it. Hell, even if you don't want combat in that sense, then just give me a knife that I can sneakily kill someone with, you know, just to thin out the herd a bit. Something. Anything would have been nice. My final issue with the game was the storytelling aspect. Like, if you want to know exactly what is going on, you have to find and read all of the little pieces of paper in this game. I did not do this. I barely read the ones I picked up, let's be completely honest here. By the end of the game, I knew the basics of the storyline, like who the factions were and what they wanted. Other than that, I had no idea, and when it came to the ending, I literally didn't know what happened. I was clueless. I had to jump on YouTube and watch some videos for an explanation, and all of them stated that to understand everything in this game, you need to find and read all of these documents. No thank you, I came to play a game. I don't mind a little bit of reading, but I think there are over 40 documents to read in this game, and some of them are not short either. I liked the horror aspect of this game. The feel this game gave off for most of it was great. I felt scared. I felt on edge. I felt like something was going to jump out at me at any time, which is good. That's what a horror game is supposed to do. The scenes in the school were where I got this feeling most. The school horrified me. It's there to give you more insight into the player's backstory and fill in some of the blanks. It eventually started to warp the actual psychosis of the main character, as he even starts getting his wife's name wrong at times, the further into the game you get. The villains in this game were great. The faction leaders were just as messed up, dark and crazy as I would expect them to be. These guys don't play around, like at all. You get a real feel of uneasiness when they pop into view. Overall, I liked this game. There was one moment in it where I nearly gave up and had to have a break for a couple of weeks, but overall I enjoyed it. I didn't have a clue what was going on for a lot of it and didn't understand the ending. But the gameplay was good and I got that horror feel that I was supposed to. And that's what I came here for. I came here to play a horror game and it delivered. What I would love to see is a mod. Someone to do a mod of this game in which you could fight back. Just for my own personal enjoyment. I would love to be able to grab a weapon and kill everyone in my way. Especially that damned martyr. Yeah, if you've played this game or seen a video on it, then you know exactly who I'm talking about. Would I recommend this game? Yes, I would. If you want to play a horror game that gives you the creeps and the jump scares, then go play it, as it will do exactly that. If you're looking for a game with story to it though, then I would say this isn't for you, as it's a grueling effort to find out everything that's happening and then understanding it on top of it all. Thank you very much for joining me today, guys. It's been an interesting ride with this game. If you want to see how everything plays out in this game, you can find my playthrough of it in a nice little playlist here on my channel. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did you enjoy this game? Did you find it scary? Did you struggle with the story? I would love to hear your thoughts on all of it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys, and turn on the notifications. This way you'll know exactly when new content has been uploaded. And I'll catch you next time. Take it easy, guys.